Okay, hello, hello, hello. Okay, so on this video, we have a tool that I call the circle and the dot. And the image is at the head of this video. And it's just what it sounds like. It's, you know, a circle with a dot in the center, right? So, what this is gauged for is where is your energy and attention. Now, um, your system actually has a lot of ways to communicate with you. Your whole body is a sensory device. I don't really like the mechanical vocabulary, but it's the vocabulary of the times. So imagine, like Hubble space um, telescope, or a really high powered telescope, right? It's something that is just really intricate and calibrated to a very specific thing, and so it's very sensitive. Um, and when we have devices like that that are very just a lot of intricate stuff, and they're very well designed, and there's a lot of attention to detail, and they're calibrated to a specific range or whatever, they're fine tuned, right? So that is a very sensitive instrument, right? And the more sensitive the instrument, more high dollar it is because there's more attention to detail and subtlety and finessing that has to go on. So, contrary to what the world um, society tells us about our bodies are that kind of really extraordinary, sensitive uh, measuring devices telling us all kinds of information all the time. So your body has a tremendous amount of information, and it's as though an, an analogy would be that your body is communicating to you in, I don't know, algebra and or Greek, and um, the dictionary that you're looking at to interpret this information is a cookbook, right? So you can see how there's a disconnect already. There's this very high powered, very sophisticated uh, instrument. And instead of having the tech book that tells you what this instrument is communicating to you, you have a cookbook, a beginner's cookbook. And so, it doesn't jibe. But everybody on the planet is working off of this cookbook as though that's what your body is about. So, uh, pardon me, I have a sensitive body. So, y- the Madison Avenue, the advertising industry, the beauty industry, the American Medical Association, all these different corporations and entities and institutions have a vested interest in what your body is, and they make their living off of their version of what your body is. And so, uh, as soon as you start to get socialized, your body is less and less yours and more theirs. And it's also a consumable. It's how does it look? How does it smell? What do people perceive, right? It's all about your body is about somebody else is consuming it, um, visually or sexually or in any other way. And also, it's like a ATM for their business, right? What kind of money can they get out of you for their business? So you can see why there's using this analogy. I'm not asking you to buy into it, but using this analogy, you can see how there's a disconnect between what your body is and what everybody around you is telling you your body is about. And because there's so many of them, then you end up believing that they must be right. And it's not true. So your body is actually um, an extraordinary, intelligent awareness system. And when you're paying that much attention outside of you, as we've just described, your whole attention is outside of you, and you're standing outside of you, looking back at you, judging you about how attractive you are or how consumable you are in some way. And when you've done that, you have left you and gone outside of your circle, and you're looking back at you in judgment. Because everything about what we've just described is competition. Something, someone is better than something, someone else. And judgment is all judgment. Competition and judgment, you can't have one without the other. So you're actually an infinite being with a physical body to express all that creativity through into the physical world. And that's a really great idea for many people, and it's a concept, but it might not be real to you yet, which is fine. There's very little in your world that's telling you that. So when you have left your space and you have gone outside of you and are looking back at you in judgment to see if you fit in, if you look right, if you smell right, if you act right, if you have enough money, if you haven't, all of the answers are always going to be no. You're never going to be thin enough. You're never going to be tall enough. You're never going to be short enough. You're never going to be young enough. You're never going to be, because that's the kind of the way this game is set up. But there's enough lies in there to snooker us into, we keep going outside of ourselves to judge back at ourselves. And that's as an example of being outside of your circle. You have to be outside of your circle to judge you. And the way you're meant to operate is that the dot is in the center of your circle. So you're not looking at how you look. You're not looking at whether or not you're a desirable consumable. And you're not looking to be the ATM machine for anybody else. Your dot is in the center of your circle. You're able to perceive from your point of view, from your vantage point, what's going on around you, and you're in your power center. Power is like having the energy to do something. It has nothing to do with overpowering and dominating, which is more of that competition thing. But when your dot is not in the center of your circle, you will feel tired. You may feel angry. You may feel irritated. You may feel bitchy. You may feel kvetchy. You may feel irritable. You may have a lot of neck and shoulder stuff going on. You may have low back stuff going on. Your stomach could be queasy. You could be kind of woozy headed. You could have a headache. And all of those symptoms, all of those things are your body telling you that you're not home. And when your energy and attention is in your body, in your space, and not just from here up, but all the way in, then every one of those sensations that I just listed will tell you something that you need to know. If you think about your body as an incredible guidance system that will tell you whenever you're a hair off, and that it's designed to give you the navigational information that you need, that's required for you, a spirit without a body, an infinite being, to be embodied in your physical body so that you can affect change and create and generate all the amazing whatever it is that you want to create while in this lifetime, right? And the sensations in your body tell you when and how you're leaving you, which is what just training all is all about. Is to just, we've been trained to leave us. it makes us a lot easier to control when we're off kilter, right? That whole thing about being outside of your circle, you're off kilter. It's like having water in your ear. You can't quite get your balance, right? Because when people are in that condition, they're a lot easier to control and manipulate. If you're home, if you're fully oxygenated, if you're actually breathing, because when you're like here up, you're not breathing. You're breathing really shallow. Your body goes into, am I alive? Am I dying? Am I dead? You're not drinking enough water, so you're dehydrated. And both oxygen and water are actual, no judgment involved, physical realities for the body. And if you're not breathing enough and deep enough and often enough, and if you're not drinking enough water, then the mechanics of your body are impaired. And so the alarms go off, the peptide chains, adrenaline, whatever you want to call it, go off to let you know, danger, danger, Will Robinson, so that you will come back into your body. But the culture has trained us to ignore those alarms and to push through it or feel the burn and do it anyway or all this other stuff. So using this gauge, it's a way for you to start to uh, recalibrate your awareness and correct that beginner cookbook. And ideally you'll be able to throw out the beginner cookbook and start to write your own. Uh, uh, what did I call it? Dictionary of what these things mean for you. It really doesn't matter what they mean for anybody else. It really only matters what it means for you. And so this gauge, the dot in a circle gauge, is a checks and balance system. So when you feel wonky, or you feel extra anxious, or you feel out of kilter, you can, in your mind's eye, you can put up the gauge and ask the gauge to show you where is your dot. And if you're feeling funky, the chances are your dot is somewhere around the edges or completely outside of the circle. And once you become aware of where your dot is, you can just take a moment and just start to breathe and allow, invite and allow, and call all of your energy back to you right here, right now. Yes, do this with me as we're doing it right now. And just breathe and allow and call all of your energy back to parts of you that you know about, as well as the parts of you that you don't know about, to come and be right here, right now, centered in your system, including your physical body. And you just breathe and allow and invite. And with it, usually in less than 30 seconds, you'll feel a difference. Your energy will shift. You'll feel more calm. You may notice in the beginning, it might be an absence. You don't feel as jittery. The more often you do it, the more you're going to expand into this practice so that you start to occupy you more. You come down into your whole body and be in your whole body more. This is the beginning steps of occupying you. And there's just plenty of times in this modern world when the thing to do is to look at the gauge, see where the dot is in relationship to the center, and just start to take some nice deep breaths. You can have your hands somewhere on your body. I'm showing you on my arms, but you could have it on your legs, and just kind of touch your body the way how you put your hand on your knee of your friend, and just to say, I'm here. Be a presence, like you like your body, like your friends, and breathe and allow and receive more and more of your energy as you come back into you. And you breathe and you allow. So sometimes when we do this, especially at the beginning, you may notice that there's a lot of sadness, or there's a lot of anger, or there's a lot of emotionality. And when you notice that, just allow it to be. Uh, the truth is that most of that stuff is not yours, but the because of the beginning cookbook that we're all given to operate under, it says in there that if you can feel it, that it's in your skin, it's in your body, it must be yours. But you are an infinite being. You're a sensitive, energetically aware being, and so you're aware of somewhere between 10 to 10,000 people at all times. And that's not only, dogs and trees are people too. So you're aware of a lot of living energies at any given moment. And if you have a sense of overwhelm, it's because you're sensing all these other people's energies, but you're telling yourself they're all yours. So as a sensitive instrument, you are aware of lots and lots of people's energy. You're aware of the planet. Some of you are really aware of the entire planet and of the geosphere of the galaxy. So if you're using the cookbook to tell you that anything that you're aware of belongs to you as your responsibility, you'll be fried all the time, as many of you know. So um, start to notice if you start to come into your body and you find it uncomfortable, again, be kind and just allow yourself to release and let go of anything that doesn't belong to you. And just breathe and allow and let it go. And if you're still kind of feeling pressure, you can even just picture pushing it out. Just push it out, out, out. So you're pushing out other people's energy and information and bringing in yours. So out, 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 mind, mind, mind. You're bringing in your energy and your information. Because your energy and your information feels fine to you. It actually feels really great to you. It's other people's energy that does not feel great to you. So here's the circle and the dot. And we covered a lot more about being in a body than I was planning on, but that's fine. If you have any questions, leave me comments and see what happens when you play with the circle and the dot and starting to own your space. So, okay, thanks. See you next